Hello and welcome to my bookshelf tour. I'm very excited for this video. I just redid my bookshelves about a couple weeks ago. I completely changed how I organized them. They used to be in like a rainbow order. No matter how pretty it looked, it just wasn't practical for how I like to read. And so now they are categorized by genre, which is really fun. But I got like one request to do this video and that was enough for me to make it. So I hope you enjoy, and without further ado, here is my in-depth bookshelf tour. I thought that at first we would go do like a little pan through all of my books and then we can move on to looking at each individual one. So first, here are my main bookshelves. I have two IKEA Billy bookcases on each side, and here's what they look like right here. And then if we continue, we have my Shadow and Bone area, which will go into Fairy Loot area, miscellaneous, and that's just the rest of my room. Okay, we're gonna start with this first shelf right here, and this is the start of the romance genre. I like keeping all my colorful books at the top, so when I film videos and stuff, they're just in frame and I think they look super pretty. But I have my little plant up there that you can see. Before we get into the books, one thing you should know is I do like categorizing my books based off genre and based off the author. So I usually like keeping one author's like all their books together. In some areas of my shelves there are some discrepancies, but that's usually what I like to do. But anyways, we will get into this shelf right here. I have Me Before You and then After You, which is the second book, Kiss Quotient, You Again, Love at First, Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and then Love Theoretically. Those are the only two books that I own that are by Ali Hazelwood, but I read other ones. And then we have Rachel and Solomon, so X Talk, Business or Pleasure. Then we have Ashley Poston books, so Dead Romantics in the 7-Year Slip, Normal People, Sally Rooney. And then my favorites, we have Bring Down the Duke, A Rogue of One's Own, Portrait of a Scotsman, and The Gentleman's Gambit, all my Evie Dunmore. Love her so much. Have the two books by Hannah Grace, Icebreaker and Wildflower. Then we have all my Emily Henrys right here. We have Beach Read, People We Meet on Vacation, Book Lovers, and then two Happy Places, one paperback, and then one hardcover because I had to. And then obviously Funny Story right here. Okay, now this next shelf, we do have some adult romances still, but this is also going to transition to my YA romances too, because that is a category I love so much. So we'll start with the adult still. So My Roommate is a Vampire, still haven't read it, but I've heard good things. Red, White, and Royal Blue, Misfit in Love, The Hating Game, Just for the Summer, Abby Jimenez, Mortal Follies, Don't Want You Like a Best Friend, and My Rogue to Ruin. So those are all my adult romance books that I have. And now moving on to the YA, we have all the Heartstopper books, volumes 1 through 5, Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow, and also by the same author, A British Girl's Guide to Hurricane Heartbreak, Love and Gelato, Love and Luck, See You Yesterday, We Can't Keep Meeting Like This, Shiny Tight Tomorrow, and Past, Present, and Future. These are all by Rachel and Solomon right here. And then Tokyo Ever After and Love in Winter Wonderland. Now this next shelf is a mix of YA romances, like continued, and also start of my fantasy books. So we have Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me, This Train Is Being Held, The Sun Is Also a Star, Pride, Cool for the Summer, Dungeons and Drama, and Better Than the Movies. Now to start my fantasy books, we have ACOTAR right here. I don't love the series, but the covers are so pretty, so I have to display them. So I have the first 4, and then we have Dance with Thieves, Vow of Thieves, love those books so much, and Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares, and then we have the first 2 books in the Diviners series. I believe there's 4 in total, but something about me, I don't really like buying the whole series before I've finished a lot of them. I like buying them one at a time. So we have the first 2, and then we have One Dark Window, which I believe is a duology, I'm pretty sure. I still haven't read it. I need to. I know. And then one of my favorite fantasy series of all time, we have Ember in the Ashes, that series, all 4 of them. I'm obsessed. And I also have this little carousel horse snow globe that I love. The next shelf is also a fantasy shelf, and so we have The Wraith and the Dawn and The Rose and the Dagger, that duology right there. Then we move into my Leigh Bardugo adult, and that's Ninth House, Hellbent, and The Familiar. Then we have my Chloe Gong books right here. So These Violent Delights, I have 2 copies of those because one signed, as you can tell. And then we have Our Violent Ends, Foul Lady Fortune, which I have yet to read, and then Immortal Longings. Then we have The Will of the Many by James Isington, Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faizal, and We Hunt the Flame by her. Then we have The Poppy War, Hunted by the Sky, and then The Cruel Prince trilogy. Okay, we have another fantasy shelf, and this one we start off with one of my favorite fantasy series. It's like a sci-fi fantasy series, and I feel like it doesn't get enough hype. This was one of the series that got me really into reading, and this is the Scythe trilogy. So we have Scythe, Thunderhead, and The Toll. Neil Shusterman is the author. My sister actually got him to sign a copy for me, which I was super grateful for. And he actually came out with Gleanings, which is kind of like a prequel, I believe. I haven't read it. This is the art copy. My other friend read it. She said it wasn't super good, so I didn't want to like ruin the trilogy by reading that, if you know what I mean. And then also we have Dry by him. And then I have my Rebecca Ross books. So I have Ruthless Vows and A River Enchanted. I've read Divine Rivals and Ruthless, but my Divine Rivals copy is like a Fairy Loot one, so I display that somewhere else. And then we move into V.E. Schwab area. So I have Vicious, and then the Darker Shade Magic trilogy, which I love, Fragile Thread of Power, which came out last year, end of last year, and then Invisible Life, Addie LaRue. Then we got Babel, Legendborn, and Bloodmark, Little Thieves and Painted Devils, and Blood Like Magic and Blood Like Fate. And the fantasy shelf continues. We have Lobizona right there, Children of Blood and Bone, Six Crimson Cranes, The Shadows Between Us, Witches Steeped in Gold, The Ravens, Belladonna, and Delicious Monsters. I like keeping these all together just because I feel like they all kind of have like the same vibe, and I only have the first book in these series. Some of them are standalones, like I think The Shadows Between Us is a standalone, but I like keeping them all together. And then we have my UK version of the Harry Potter books, which I really like to display because I love Harry Potter. And then I have this cute little Honeydukes. It's actually an ornament, but I thought it'd be cute on my bookshelf, so I have that. Then we have the Hunger Games books right here, and Percy Jackson. I thought it would be fun to have like all like the old fandom books like all in one section of my bookshelf, and I really like how it looks. Okay, this next shelf is mainly fantasy, but then there's some just like general fiction at the end. So we start with Throne of Glass, and this is like what I was saying with my discrepancies with author books staying together. I only own the first Throne of Glass, so I didn't really want to put it just like up at the top. So we have that one right there. Then The Wicked Fox, which I really liked that book, and I want to reread it actually. Then we have A Winter's Promise, Bonecryer's Moon, Beautiful, A Curse So Dark and Lonely, There Will Come a Darkness, Kingdom of Exiles, Daughter of the Pirate King, Furyborn, The Raven Boys, Last Night at the Telegraph Club. And then I have 2 books by TJ Klune. I have The House in the Cerulean Sea and Under the Whispering Door. And then I have the A Song of Wraiths and Ruins duology right there. And then Caraval and Legendary. I just honestly couldn't get into that. I love the Once Upon a Broken Heart series so much, so I tried to get into it. I just really couldn't. And then I have A Song Below Water, Wolf by Wolf, Cinderella is Dead, Eight Will Fall, Roxy, Patron of Saints, What I Carry, and The Perks of Being a Wallflower. So as you can see, the end kind of goes into general fiction, which we'll move into right now. Alright, so we start off with Last True Poets of the Sea, We Are Lost and Found, Darius the Great Is Not Okay, Bunny, In the Dream House, The Poet X, With the Fire on High, so my 2 Elizabeth Acevedo books, Grown, Furia, Sold, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, Dogs of Summer, The Giver, Sanctuary, Look Both Ways, Song of Achilles, and then we have my Taylor Jenkins Reid books, so Seven Husbands, Daisy Jones, and Mally Rising. It bothers me so much, like look how different all of these books are by the same author. Like obviously the hardcover's gonna be different, but like why is Daisy Jones and the Six and Seven Husbands different? I don't get that. And then we have Remarkably Bright Creatures, Firekeeper's Daughter, and then we move into more like historical fiction. I don't really have a lot, but I have The Nightingale, Lovely War, which if you haven't read Lovely War, you totally should. I want to reread it. That book is so beautiful. Then we have The Book Thief, Romanov, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, and Hidden Figures. And now we're moving into more like my thriller mystery section, which continues on to the next shelf. So right now I just have the first 2 Inheritance Games. I tried to read the third one. I could not get into it. I don't know. I think I made it like 70% of the way, and I just had my friend tell me what happened. But yes. So now onto my thriller shelf. Now I know I just called this a thriller shelf, but I feel like that wasn't super accurate. I'm not super into mysteries and thrillers, so I only have a few because I also like listening to them on audio instead of physically reading them generally. But we start off with Truly Devious, and then I Killed Zoe Spanos, The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which I actually didn't like that book, but I just think it's so pretty, so I had to keep it. Then we have Magpie Murders, If We Were Villains, which is so good. And then There Were None by Agatha Christie, my only Agatha Christie that I own actually. And then A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Murder of Sleeping Beauty, which I just recently picked up in a free little library, Sadie, Stalking Jack the Ripper, One of Us is Lying, and Ace of Spades. And then now I have more of my like non-fiction books. Again, I just generally like to listen to those on audio instead of physically reading them. But I have the book Influence, which is like a marketing book that I read for school and stuff. So, and then we have Women and Money, and then Why Not Me, Mindy Kaling, Becoming Trader Joe, White Fragility, In Defense of Witches, and Everything I Know About Love, which I absolutely loved that book. And then right here I just have this little vase with these wooden tulips I got from Amsterdam. And then this next shelf is a mix of like religion books that I have and then classics. So we start off on the left with a bunch of different religion books that I own, and then we move into my classics, which I have Emma, Little Women, Oliver Twist, A Tale of Two Cities, Picture of Dorian Gray, and Frankenstein. Those are so pretty. Let me show you. Like, I just think these are so cool. I picked these up in Boston with my friends actually at this random independent bookstore, and I love them. They kind of have like a leather cover too, which is awesome. Then I have Farewell of Arms by Ernest Hemingway, Brave New World, 1984. Then I have Romeo and Juliet, which this copy of Romeo and Juliet is one of my prized possessions. I got this actually at the Shakespeare and Company bookstore in Paris. I've always loved Romeo and Juliet so much, and so I thought this would be a great souvenir. And when you buy a book at the Shakespeare and Company, they actually ask if you want to get it stamped, and I did, and look how beautiful that is. I'm obsessed. Also, another classic that is now a prized possession of mine that I own is my Pride and Prejudice copy. My best friend Sam painted this for me, and I absolutely love it so much. And then I have a copy of Heidi, which that was like my favorite book growing up, so I have that. And then I have all of the Chronicles of Narnia series. I've only read The Magician's Nephew, but I do want to get to reading all of them one day. And I have this little figurine of Mr. Toad. It's actually, again, an ornament, but I just decided to put it there. I just have this weird love for Mr. Toad. Yeah, I don't really know why, but I love him. So I have that there. Also, the last shelf, this one is just like, I have nothing really there, just some books I need to get back to my sister. But then right here are just random Harry Potter stuff. Like these are the paperback versions of the Harry Potter books when I first read them, so you can see they're well loved. And then I have this series that it's actually my sister's, but she just left it at my parents' house, so I'm displaying it, and it's just really pretty edition of the Harry Potter books. Then we have the little Harry Potter novella type things, and then we have up to book 5 of the illustrated version. I also just have this little Lego Harry Potter figurine. So that is what I have. And that is a completion, sorry I'm on the ground now, of all of these books on my bookshelf. Okay, and now we're moving on to my Shadow and Bone shrine. This is a prized possession of mine. The Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows books, like the Grishaverse in general, is my all-time favorite series. I love it so much. It really got me into reading, and for that, it holds a very special place in my heart. So it also is a display of my overconsumption a little bit. I have way too many copies of each book. That is truly unnecessary, but it makes me happy. And yes, I will get into that right now. So I guess we'll just start right here. So if you've read any of the books in like the Shadow and Bone, Six of Crows universe, you know that there are technically 3 different book series within the Grishaverse. So there's Shadow and Bone, Six of Crows, and then the King of Scars duology. So I have 3 shelves right here, so each one technically represents each section of the series. So we'll start with the Shadow and Bone series. So right here I have the Netflix adaptation version of Shadow and Bone right here. The cover honestly is not my favorite, and I absolutely hate how this is not a sticker. It just stays on there because now that they've canceled the series, it's just taunting me, you know? And right here we have the 3 current covers of the Shadow and Bone series. These are the ones that I first read, so these also hold a very special place in my heart. And then these are the old covers that I have gotten each one of these used at my local bookstore, which is really fun. It's kind of fun collecting them, but these 2 are paperbacks and this one's a hardcover, which does bother me a little bit, but it really doesn't matter, I guess. Then we have this collector's edition of Shadow and Bone. I love it so much. It also has these blue edges. Then we have another special edition right here, and this is just the back that it came with right there, but I just like displaying it to fill up the space. This one I believe was a Barnes & Noble exclusive, and I absolutely love it so much. It's so pretty. And then I just have these little angel cherubs that I got at Goodwill a long time ago. And then right here I have my Darkling candle. It smells so good. I've never burned it, but it smells so good. My friends and I, we all have one of the characters. Like I have the Darkling, my friend Sam has Casbrecker, and then the other friend has Nikolai. We all have that together and we've all never burnt them, but we just enjoy smelling them. Next shelf is my Six of Crows one. There isn't too much on here just because, I mean, it is a duology. We have my special editions of Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. They are so pretty. They're all fun. And then there's also art in the back that just has different drawings of all of the characters. I love them so much. Like, look how pretty. So good. Love these so much. Here, I'll show you the Crooked Kingdom one. All yellow on the inside, and I honestly like this artwork better. I think it's super cool. I just love this. Nina is one of my favorite characters ever, and I love this one of her so much. So yes, I have those, and then I need to show you these. So these are just regular editions of the books in hardcover. This one does have sprayed edges though, but this one right here is one of my prized possessions. My sister Claire is amazing and got it signed by Leigh Bardugo to Rachel. I was sobbing when she gave this to me. I love this series so much, so this means the world to me. But yes, so that is one of my prized possessions right there. And then I have the two paperbacks. These were the ones that I read at first. I'm actually annotating the Six of Crows right now, and I'm gonna do Crooked Kingdom after. And then this is just like the Netflix version of the Six of Crows cover. Then I have another cherub, and then this passport from the Grishaverse that my sister got. She used to work at a bookstore, and so their bookstore got sent this like PR package. Yeah, so that's one part of the PR package thing. Okay, this next shelf, I don't really know how best to display it. I don't love how it looks, but I just don't really know how best to display it. But anyways, we have the two novellas right here. We have Live Lives of Saints right there, Language with Thorns. Also in that PR package, there was this Grishaverse cup, and then this little stroopwafel thing, and that was really cute. Also, there's this eye mask that says, "It gets dark when I say it does." And then here's the graphic novel of Demon in the Woods, which I absolutely loved, so I have that on display. And then this is the King of Scars Rule of Wolves shelf. So I have the paperback version of King of Scars, and I have two hardcovers of King of Scars. One is a special edition, and it's same with Rule of Wolves is also a special edition. So I'll show you those right now. And before I forget, my regular edition of Rule of Wolves actually has a signed book plate by Leigh Bardugo. So I love that. I love these covers so much. I think they're so pretty. So my King of Scars special edition right here, I forget what company did them. I think it's like Beacon Book Box or something like that. Just has gold sprayed edges right here. And then it is signed by Leigh Bardugo, which is very exciting. I love her signature so much. And then same with Rule of Wolves. It has silver sprayed edges. And then it's also signed by Leigh Bardugo. So that concludes my Grishaverse shelves. And I'm obsessed with them. I love this series so much. If you haven't read them, read them now. Okay, in the same theme of special edition books, here are my Fairy Loot books right here. I just like keeping them separate, and I like seeing the sprayed edges because I feel like that's the prettiest part of them. But I actually have them in order of when I got them. So I started my subscription January of 2023. So this is going to be the January, February, March, April, May. So all the way up to, this is my March, I believe. They're always like a month late, I feel like, which is fine, but I think this is the March one. Maybe it's April. I can't remember. But yes. So these are all my Fairy Loot monthly subscription books. And then these are the ones that I purchased separately. So we have Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This edition I just have to show you. First of all, look how reflective it is. So pretty. Here are the sprayed edges. It's like the wave type thing, which is on the main cover. And then here's the inside. If you haven't read the book, this might not make sense to you, but they build a video game, and this is the video game that they build. So pretty. And then in the end, game over, start again. So cute. And then we have another prized possession of me. I absolutely love the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. So I got the Fairy Loot special editions of them. I was so stressed buying them because the queue that I had to get in was for like 2 hours. It was crazy. So I have these. They are so pretty. I'll do a quick overview of what they look like. So here's the first one. Here's the sprayed edges. The cover and everything of these looks exactly like the UK edition, but it's what's on the inside that's important. So artwork right here. So pretty. I'm obsessed. So that's the first one. And then the second one, which is my favorite. Here are the edges. I love that one. It's so pretty. That's the second one. And then finally, A Curse for True Love. So yes, that concludes my Fairy Loot books. And then back here I just have this sprayed bulldog, some annotation tabs, and a book marker thing. And then I have all my book sleeves right here. My mom actually owns an Etsy shop where she makes padded book sleeves, so I have that here because I obviously am friends with the owner, so I get a lot for free. And then to have random things, candle, picture, painting, whatever. And then just for fun, I have my One Direction shrine right there, scrapbooks, paintings. I guess the only thing else that is book related is my bookmark holder right here, which is this little Snoopy sleeping. And then I just have my bookmarks in here, TBR, jar prompts, and then my book nook, which you've probably seen in different videos and stuff. But other than that, those are all of my books. Alright, and that concludes my 2024 bookshelf tour. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. I love looking at my books and talking about my books to anyone that will listen. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, I would appreciate it so much if you left a like and comment down below how you like to organize your books. If they are organized, if you have them scattered everywhere, I'd love to know. And if you haven't yet, I would really appreciate it if you chose to subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me. And I guess that's all I have to say. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, or just a good day in general, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.